Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I kind of wanted to talk about a little situation that happened. And this was kind of a story time, so bear with me a little bit here. This particular instance happened not too long ago, and honestly I've been meaning to kind of talk about it, and it kind of ties into why I backed out of the so-called woke social justice pro-black movement. I'm actually going to show you guys some slides, some IG stories that I have of this, incident, altercation that I had with this person, and basically how everything just turned out and my thoughts on this situation. So I'm going to actually put it in this video, or try to put it in this video, and it's kind of long, but hopefully you will bear with me and read them all the way through. And I want to apologize for any typos in advance. I was really typing fast, and you can tell how I was feeling while I was typing this. So go ahead and check these IG stories out. Now, you guys just saw those IG stories. You guys saw what I had to say. You guys saw what this person had to say, what she had to say. And basically, what I was trying to explain was there is more to the story than what she initially posted. Because this person likes to write long dissertations every time they come on Instagram, and they have that right. But this person likes to write long dissertations about how it's like living as a black women in this society, how everything, every trauma we experience as black women is always tied into racism, white supremacy. And look, she's not wrong, and there is validity and truth to that. But basically, what I was trying to tell this person was there is more to this particular story. The woman who was pregnant, I believe Marche, she was pregnant and she got into an altercation with a woman over a man who I believe was the father of her now unfortunately dead child, unborn child, I should say. And initially, the woman was charged, I believe, for manslaughter of the death of her unborn child. And when I first heard this, based on the headline, of course, I believe that this was tied into the new abortion bill that was being passed, okay? I believe that this is just another way to criminalize and control women for their decisions and their bodies. I really do believe this was a control strategy towards women, specifically black women, because we are constantly being policed no matter what. I agreed with that. However, I actually found out more details online, not just from like Neek at Night, but from other YouTubers like Leah Gordon, if I'm saying her name right. I found out from other YouTubers like there is more to the story than what is initially being reported. And I feel like a lot of, not only just liberal, but a lot of these so-called social justice warrior movements and pro-black movements, we tend to run with headlines and not check out the rest of the story, not follow up, not, give updates on the story. We run with the first thing we see because we're all very emotional, okay? And this is why I've slowly backed out of this so-called movement. I have not withdrawn my support completely. I feel like I am still that person who is here for social justice reform and social justice causes, but I'm not here for the BS. And I feel like this is why some people are backing out, because there are a lot of people who speak so loud and make so much noise that they end up becoming the faces and the voices of these movements. And it's bad enough that people, like I said in my IG stories, it's bad enough that you have people and conservatives that are coining social justice movements or, liberal movements as just a bunch of emotional, loud social justice warrior movements. It's bad enough that they're doing that, but it's also worse when we're doing things that kind of prove them right and fit towards their agenda. That's the last thing we need to do, okay? And sometimes when you offer criticism, constructive criticism, you get cussed out, you get, blocked, you get attacked, you get mocked. I remember when people were first starting to call out Umar Johnson, or when I started seeing people first call out Umar Johnson, and especially if you're a woman, okay, you're a woman, you're more marginalized in the black community, you may be LGBTQ identifying, you get cussed out, you get called all types of agents and, secret government agents, all types of coons and bedwenches and whatnot. All of that. I'm not going to lie. There are people who are deserving of those titles, okay? But sometimes just offering critical thinking and updates to stories is not people just trying to be so-called government agents or traitors. And I think this is the type of woman who actually is feeding in or actually giving ammo to the other side by coming off as emotional and easily triggered, okay? They don't like to hear angry, they're just passionate, but they're coming off very, very like the same people that conservatives are coining us as. And that is a bad thing. That is bad for what we're trying to do here. Now, granted, everybody enacts their activism in different ways. Like she has told me before, there are different ways of activism, and I had to come to the realization she is not the only activist or the only one who can and will make a difference. And, I had to come to that realization and realize that. But these are the same type of people that when you try to give them constructive criticism, or when you don't follow suit in their form of activism or their form of social justice warrioring, or if you don't fall in line completely, you don't even have to go all the way over to the other side. You just don't have to fall in line completely with them. Some of these people are the same ones that will shame you. These are the same type of people that Chrissy tells women and black women not to be, or at least tell them to try to avoid being around, because these are the same ones, that are so like this and so chip on their shoulder ish. Nothing's wrong with having a chip on your shoulder, being like this, but there are smart ways and better ways to do it. And I feel like this person has the right mind, but their execution sometimes comes off as very toxic and unhealthy. Like Jessica said in 13 Reasons Why, you're not making change, you're making noise. And that's what it is. And look, this is not just me being butthurt or anything like that or feeling emotional. This is just me calling out what I see, what I've observed, what I've felt. And honestly, like I said, this is the type of social justice warrioring that takes away from our femininity, especially black women's femininity. This is the type that makes us look like a bunch of the quote unquote angry black women that we try to avoid being. And look, like I said, there are ways to fight for social justice without it taking away from your femininity. But these same people, these same women, these are the same ones that will call you dismissive. These are the same ones that will shame you for either wanting a good quality of life or wanting a better quality of life, and for not getting on their level of social justice warring or their level of, trying to dismantle the system or fight against the so-called patriarchy. And she does not call herself a feminist, but this person will fight in the same extremist feminist way. And look, some of the things she says have validity, and I agree with it. Like I said, I actually, for the most part, agree with what she's doing, because at one point that was me, not excessively extremist social justice warrior, but I am here for the cause, okay? But these are the same type of people that will turn you off, especially with the way they treat you and their attitudes and how, you know, everything you say, especially when you're breaking things down in a certain way, shape, or form. And you can tell this woman can't even carry herself if you actually go on her page. You can tell this person does not carry themselves well, has no care in the world. You can tell she's kind of hiding under the guise of feminism and free womanism and, you know, I can do whatever I want ism. And that is true. You have the free will to do that, but it always comes off like shaming. Like the 6 types of people Chrissy talks about that will shame you out of hypergamy. This person is a feminist friend, okay? And she may not call herself a feminist or not want to deal with labels, because you know what that comes with. You know, I get it. But this person definitely comes off like a feminist friend, where I've been through a lot. I'm so against the patriarchy, and I want to dismantle the patriarchy and the system of white supremacy. And she comes off like, when people are offering alternative ways of doing that, you know, not completely going on the other side, no, but when you offer alternative ways of doing that and alternative options of doing that, these people are so clouded by so many things going on wrong that they actually shame you for being, in some cases, either optimistic or finding an alternative way of solving the problem. And I said in my past video, in my why I backed out of this so-called movement video, that, you know, there are other ways of doing it, or it's like a game of chess or a game of math. There are multiple ways to solve the same problem. And I feel like we're always trying to find one way to solve the problem, the plethora of our problems. We all want to solve our problems. We all want to solve, you know, the issues that are going on, especially as it relates to social and criminal justice. But with this type of person, when you offer that, oh, it's not going to work, because this is the same type of person that called me dismissive and said I was being dismissive for just, you know, saying that maybe we should try doing it this way. Have you ever tried doing it that way? And she said, oh no, you were being dismissive because it's never worked. It's not going to work. But this is the same type of person that says they have to be optimistic. Now, I'm sorry I went off topic, but let me get back to the pregnant woman situation. I'm so sorry. So with this pregnant woman, Marche, the one who was shot and charged with manslaughter, I personally thought that it was wrong that they were charging her with manslaughter, because I said, why the person who pulled out a gun and shot this woman is, you know, not being charged. Yes, she's the carrier of the baby, and they definitely, I think this was down south, so there's a culture apparently down south where they kind of put motherhood pretty much on the mother, on the woman carrying. It was your responsibility to protect that baby. Now, granted, I updated this woman on what I found out too, because the last thing I want is this girl to be so into this movement that she wakes up with the egg on her face because she misconstrued or misinterpreted some information, okay? Or she basically ran with the headline like a lot of people, like the Sean Kings of the world, okay? Now, I told her that this woman, Marche, the woman who lost her child, she was actually in a fight. She initiated the fight. She was in a fight with a girl over the father of her children, over the man who I guarantee she is not married to or probably not in a full-blown committed relationship with, okay? And this is the problem I have, because it doesn't look good for Black women. Why are we fighting over men? And look, I can never say never, because you never know what situation you're going to get caught up in. But why are we still fighting over men in 2019 or in 2018? Because I think this case happened in 2018. But why are we still fighting over men in almost 2020? You know, and at the end of the day, this man is probably going to do him, probably not going to take care of that child, even if that child did survive. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, why would this woman not only be fighting pregnant, but why would the other woman feel the need to pull out a gun on a pregnant woman? Why would this woman feel the need to fight a pregnant woman? Okay? Both these women, I believe, should be held accountable. And like I said, I do think they were trying to make an example out of this woman. And I do think that it ties into, or they're trying to make it tie into the abortion bill where they're criminalizing women over their choices. And look, as women, as Black women, we deserve reproductive rights. But at the same time, I do think they were trying to tie this case and make an example out of this woman. The media was trying to make an example out of this woman. And by the way, they actually dropped the charges against that woman, against Marche. I believe her name is that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they actually dropped the charges against this woman. And also, this same woman who blocked me on Instagram and then decided to come back on her backup page and, you know, talk to me and tell me why she blocked me, this same woman is pregnant. She's about to be a single mother. And look, I am not shaming her for being a single mother. I am not shaming. I personally want to leave kids out of this, but I find it funny. Here you are talking about this, and when I give you constructive criticism or I update you on the story with the facts, okay, you want to block me. And I guarantee, I don't know, I can't speak for you completely, but I guarantee this same woman who claims to care about children, care about her babies, okay, this same woman who's going to be a single mother would probably not put her child or her unborn child in danger like that. So I find it funny that when I tell you, oh, this woman, she actually initiated a fight that caused her, you know, to lose her baby. Now, like I said, both these women need to be held accountable, because one, why would you pull out a gun on a pregnant woman? Why would you fight a pregnant woman? Why would you fight pregnant? And it's over some petty thing like a man. When I told the girl on IG that my comment got deleted, I got blocked. And then she came on her backup page, DM'd me and said, oh, you just say off the wall shit, excuse my French. But I'm saying, aren't you pregnant? Aren't you about to be a single mom? And guess what? She's out here begging people or asking people online to support her and give her money, because that's one of the things in her IG profile. Pay me to educate you. And something tells me this is probably either her only or main source of income. This is why I feel like it gives the movement a bad look, because you have people that make social justice warring a hustle. And look, social justice warring is not the only hustle. There are other hustles like, you know, caping for the conservatives or going to the conservative side. We see what people like, you know, Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum are doing, okay? They're finding their own hustle. In a way, I'm kind of here for, you know, making money in unconventional ways, but there are right ways and wrong ways to do it. And I feel like we've misconstrued the two. Now, like I said, this person, this woman, she can believe in her movement, but I feel like the way she's going at it, honestly, it really turns me off, and it really turns a lot of people off. But then again, guess what? Her main audience, from what I see on her page, is white folks. White people. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I find it funny how you're shunning people like me, especially when we give you some common sense and, you know, extra facts, you know, but, you know, you're trying to appease to a white audience about how they can care about Black issues, which, you know, they should. But at the same time, I find it funny because one time she posted something that said, hey, this isn't a cult. We can disagree. We can have disagreements. She probably deleted that post, but it was a while ago. Because like I said, this is not my first run-in with this person. And she deleted that post, I bet, but she said, hey, this is not a cult. We can disagree. We can have difference of opinions, but it seems like when we have a difference of opinions, you're quick to block. This is not me being a hater, because for some reason, I got coined a hater for pointing out all these different things, okay? I'm not a hater. I'm just pointing out what I see. Now, it seems as if this is the type of person that is all about this new age extremist feminism and womanism, and I can do what I want. So I'm not sure how she got pregnant. Maybe she did that thing and went to a sperm bank. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm looking at this and I'm saying this is the real facts of the case, but because I guess it doesn't tie into her agenda or what she's trying to do, then of course I'm warranted to get blocked and my post gets deleted. You see what I mean? When I have been on their page, I look at them and it's like, even when they smile, they're miserable. They can't even smile. These are the angry type of people that I think Black women, especially if you want to up your femininity, live a high quality or good quality of life. And this is not just for the so-called social justice warriors. This is everybody, okay? If you want to live like a certain good quality of life, be happy and you know, healthy and surrounded by good people, stay away from these types of people. These people are toxic. And honestly, this is not me just bashing this person. This is just me saying, my God, it's funny because even when you're here for them and here with them, they'll shame you, they'll mock you, they'll stalk you. Even when Chrissy has said this before. She has said when she was all pro-blackity black, she was mocked. She was attacked, she was stalked, she said she had to get law enforcement involved. It's like, I remember this quote seeing, and I've said this before, that said sometimes even when you're fighting for Black people or with Black people, your main obstacle or one of your biggest obstacles are other Black people. And like I said before, it's not just the coons, the so-called coons and bedwenches. It's also people like her who claim to be so social justice warrioring, who are so-called here for the cause and here for the movement. And it's like, you honestly realize there is somewhat of a catch-22, especially as a Black woman, right? There is always a catch-22. So I have to pick and choose. And like I said in my why I backed out of the so-called pro-Black movement, I am only taking like-minded Black people with me in my journey. In my life journey, I am only taking like-minded people in general. I am only taking like-minded people with me. And I find it funny because, like I said, these are the same type of people who will live the poorest quality of life, because you see that they will live a poor quality of life, sometimes intentionally, because, you know, like Chrissy said, getting with a high caliber man, or, you know, getting married, or doing certain traditional things or certain gender role traditional things to them are oppressive, and, you know, it contributes to the patriarchy, and there is validity in that to a certain extent, but, you know, they won't do it, and then they'll shame you out of doing it. Feminist friend, like Chrissy talked about, you know, Afrocentric Angie, like Chrissy talked about, okay, and struggle of Sophia, I think. Those are the three main people who will shame you out of a hypergamous lifestyle because they either can't, don't, or won't try to achieve a hypergamous lifestyle. But I digress. This is not just this woman I'm talking about. I'm talking about a lot of people who are like her. But honestly, that's all I had to say. I probably missed out some more information, but you know what? I guess I just needed to get that off my chest. This is no bashing. This is no ranting. This is just me calling out what I see as I see it. And you know what? I don't want to come off as the person looking down on somebody. I'm not a hater, because it seems like I get coined a hater for calling out people, especially if they have more of a following. And like I said, this is not me being a hater. This is just me giving constructive criticism where I see. But I feel like our problem is, we think that sugarcoating the BS and sweeping it under the rug means that's quote unquote staying on code, but that's another video for another day. So anyway, yes, that's what all I had to say. Thank you so much if you guys stuck around. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Tell me what you think. Was I right in this situation? Was I wrong in this situation? Do you know of this person, you know, I'm talking about? Thank you so much for watching again, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.